They say in Africa, when you see a lion, know that he has already seen you for an hour. But what if that lion didn't just see you? What if he remembered you, understood you, and one day chose to help you? This is not a fable, not folklore. It's a true story of a rebel lion and the man who followed him, where predator and human locked eyes in the wild, and something far greater than fear was born. For an entire week, under the merciless sun of the African savanna, a lone photographer trailed a lion unlike any other. This lion was known among the rangers as the Rebel. Unlike the rest of his pride, he roamed alone. He refused the company of other lions, patrolled no fixed territory, and answered to no rules of the jungle. To the photographer, this lion was more than just an animal. He was a legend, a story waiting to be told through the lens. Capturing him would mean international recognition, the kind of image that could fund his child's education, secure his family's future, and perhaps even become the photograph of his lifetime. But photographing the rebel was not a simple task. Every step closer was a gamble with life itself. The photographer hid behind tall grass, crawled on dry earth, and lay motionless for hours, waiting for a moment when the lion's golden mane caught the light, when the untamed fire in his eyes could be frozen forever in a frame. At last, the moment arrived. After 7 exhausting days, the photographer pressed the shutter. Click. He had captured it, the rebel in his raw, defiant glory. Relief washed over him. Exhausted but triumphant, he packed his gear and began the 15-mile journey back to camp. His body ached, his throat burned with thirst, but his heart was light with victory. This picture could change everything. But fate can be cruel. When he reached camp, a sickening realization struck him. His most valuable lens, worth $15,000, was gone. Somewhere on that endless trail, it had slipped from his bag. Without it, his week of sacrifice, his nights under the stars, his hours of danger, everything was wasted. The man's knees weakened. He searched frantically, but 15 miles of wilderness is no small ground to cover. Darkness was falling, and lions were not the only hunters out there. For him, the journey was over. He sat silently by the campfire, the flames dancing in his defeated eyes. It wasn't just the money or the lost equipment. It was the betrayal of destiny. It was as though the wild itself had mocked his devotion. The next morning, he stood outside his tent, waiting for the caravan that would take him to the airstrip. His bags were packed, his dream broken. But then, rustling. The tall grass shivered with movement. His heart raced. Was it danger? An attack? No. Out of the golden grass emerged the rebel himself. His mane swayed like a storm cloud, his eyes locked on the man he had silently tolerated all week. But there was something different this time. Between his jaws, gripped gently but firmly, was the missing lens. The photographer froze. His breath caught in his throat. The lion walked closer, slow, deliberate, until the beast stood beside the jeep. With a calm that defied every instinct of survival, the rebel lowered his head and dropped the lens onto the ground. And then, he simply walked away. The world seemed to stop. For a long moment, man and beast were bound not by fear, not by the ancient law of predator and prey, but by something deeper, recognition, perhaps even trust. News spread quickly among the researchers in camp. How could this be? Why would a lion carry back an object of no value to him and deliver it to the man who had stalked him so relentlessly? The scientists had only one explanation. The lion no longer saw the photographer as a stranger. Oh, For days of silent observation, the rebel had grown used to his presence. What the man thought was stealth was, in truth, a one-sided illusion. The lion had been aware of him from the very beginning. In some mysterious way, the predator had accepted him, even protected him. What could have been a fatal encounter had instead turned into a gesture of kinship. And the greatest irony? The true masterpiece photograph was not the one taken secretly from the grass. It was the image captured that morning. The rebel lion walking proudly, lens in his mouth, as if he himself had decided to pose for history. That single image, the lion returning what fate had stolen, became the photograph that changed everything. It won awards, graced magazine covers, and secured the photographer's future. His child's education was funded, his name etched into the story of wildlife photography forever. But beyond recognition and success, the photographer carried something greater, a revelation about the relationship between man and beast. The rebel had shown that the wilderness is not just a place of survival, but of silent bonds, of unseen friendships, of destinies intertwined in ways science cannot explain. Every time the man looked at that picture, he remembered not just the gift of a lion, but the truth of the African proverb. When you see a lion, he has already been watching you. And perhaps, if fortune smiles, he is not watching with hunger, but with understanding. And so the rebel lion taught us something unforgettable. Sometimes the wild does not just test us, it surprises us, teaches us, even helps us in ways we cannot imagine. This was not just a story about a photographer and a lion. It was a story about trust, destiny, and the mysterious ways in which life gives back when you least expect it. If this story touched your heart, imagine how many more untold wonders are waiting in the corners of our world. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible true stories from the wild. And remember, the next time you look into the eyes of nature, know that nature is already watching you.